guys, welcome back to another episode of the Indie Basketball Podcast. And today I have a very special guest, and we have some dudes from Dikembe. And we have Andy and we have David. So thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
We're gonna talk some tunes, we're gonna talk some hoops, and I feel like it's a good time right now with the NBA, and there's a lot going on, especially with All-Star game coming up.
Whatever. Not planning on watching it.
Yeah, especially with the weirdness about it and how most of the people don't even want to play in it.
Yeah, that's understandable, but it's surprising.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be a mess. They're like trying to shove like the slam dunk competition into the halftime show, right?
Oh God.
The format. What? Yeah. I don't know. I have a buddy that has been talking about it. He's like, man, I've played enough shows to know those guys aren't going on stage until 12:30.
Yeah, the slam dunk competition takes so long too, usually. Yeah, unless they're going to have like 3 people competing, then maybe you could squeeze it in, but
yeah.
Maybe they'll go back to how it was, where it's like you got one shot, you get a second chance, and then it's like that's it.
Yeah.
So man, I don't know. We'll see. It might be. I usually look forward to the dunk contest, but it's really been hit or miss in the past few years. I guess.
Yeah.
The Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine was obviously like the best one in a long time.
Yeah. That one was awesome.
For
sure. I feel bad for Aaron Gordon. I'm not like a big fan of his because he kind of seems like a little like baby about being robbed from his slam dunk title, but there were definitely like 2 other times that he could have been the winner, and I guess I'd be like kind of salty if I was him, but
the Zach LaVine fan over here, I'm doing all right. So
yeah, like the one where I guess that was the 2016 one, like that one was awesome, and Zach LaVine like definitely deserved the W.
Yeah.
But I think Aaron Gordon has done it 2 other times or 3 other times, and he always like puts on a crazy show, and
right.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, at least give it to him once, because I mean, at least he's participating multiple times. Most guys don't want to even do it at all.
Yeah,
and he's
like,
I feel like again.
You get spurned like that a couple of times. He's like, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, and he's definitely the one drawing the attention for sure.
Yeah, I wonder who, because usually they stick to like people in their first few years in the league. So I wonder if would Zion actually do it? Like, I don't know. Anthony Edwards is a great dunker.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is pretty awesome. That rookie from New York is going to be in it, I think.
Oh yeah, Obi Toppin.
Yeah,
ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
Yeah, that's the only participant that I've heard of so far.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure there'll be people depending on the format. Who knows? But
yeah.
Yeah, they haven't announced like all the competitors for all the things yet, right?
I think they're just trying to figure out details first.
Yeah, well,
and then
running out of time, isn't it? Like next week or something?
I feel like it's really soon. Like there's only a couple more Heat games until All-Star weekend.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, because part of me wanted to do like a live stream, like, and just have like a watch party. Like during the dunk contest and All-Star game, but it's so unknown right now that like I have no idea how it would go.
Yeah.
But I guess speaking of live streams, that's one thing you guys have been doing this past year, right? You did do the occasional live stream.
Definitely occasional.
Play some Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
we did once or twice.
Yeah, we did that when the game came out, and then we were like, okay, like that's enough.
Well, a lot of it was just because we were trying to play music like as it was happening, and we didn't realize, because we're just total noobs at it, that like most of our recorded video was going to get muted for copyright infringement. And I was like, well, shit, like people are just going to watch Tony Hawk without music. It's going to be a bit boring.
That's insane. Like even like
we had
if you're
like
streaming a video game
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
But
also hard. It's hard to, I mean, the people that do it well, like total props to them. I mean, I'm sure they're working with way better PC rigs
right.
than what we have, but it's demanding on your system. It's demanding on your internet connection to like make all of that happen at a consistent level. Every time we do it, it feels like we are running into a new set of problems and we're just sort of pulling our hair out as it's going, just being like, well, fuck it. We're not professionals at it. So no expectations. It sucks, whatever.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure it out for doing like some indie basketball streams, but it's like I'm working on a MacBook Pro and it's like it doesn't seem like the right way to do it. And
right.
like even if I get an extra monitor, is it going to run that well? I don't know.
Yeah. But on top of it, like, you know, I live on an island. My connection speed sucks. Randy, our bass player, just moved to like Michigan, like very far out in the middle of nowhere, and he's been having like crazy internet issues, and it just seems like it's not really in the cards for us to do anything at the moment.
Shit, yeah. Well, you live on an island. Where are you living?
I live in Melbourne Beach, Florida.
Okay.
But you know, it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. I do live on an island though.
Yes. Technically, I live on an island too because I live in New York. That's technically an island. So
the famous New York saying, "Welcome to island time."
Yep. Always say it. When I'm in Manhattan, I'm on island time. Don't bother me. How has it been? I guess the past year. I know it's been shitty for everyone, but like, how has it been trying to play together and make music in pandemic times?
Difficult. I mean, it's just hard to get people together and feel safe about it and confident that we're doing things the right way. And it's really hard to get together with anybody. Like even now, even when things are like starting to slow down, you don't really know if you're stepping on other people's toes as far as like what they consider to be safe or what you consider to be safe. And no one seems like comfortable with asking or like pushing anybody's limits that way. So a lot of people just avoid it. I mean, I think Andy's done a lot more with his other band, Pool Kids and stuff. Dikembe, we've only gotten together once this whole year.
Yeah. Pool Kids has also only gotten together once, but we were together for like 2 weeks, and it was a similar sort of setup as to what Dikembe just did. Like we got together. This is Dikembe. Like we got together and did some like live recordings in the studio, and you know everybody wore their mask. We were all like pretty aware of like, okay, like let's not have too many people in on the session, and we tried to keep it as like small as possible. We all got tested beforehand, and we all stayed separate. We didn't, you know, usually if Steven and I are going to be in Gainesville, we'll stay at David's place or Randy's, and we opted to just, you know, stay in an Airbnb, or you know, Steven stayed at David's parents' place while they were gone. So in Chicago it was like the same sort of deal. Like I stayed in my own spot, and we got together for a little bit of the day, and it was interesting. It's like it's kind of odd when you like read people musically, like by their facial expressions and stuff, and you're completely covered from here down, you know?
Yeah.
So even just having conversations was like kind of odd, alien, and difficult for the first few times, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of bands who just like are like, we're gonna get a place and we're gonna like hunker down for like a couple weeks and just like do what we can. Like I think Pet Symmetry just did that.
Yeah.
But it's
a way to go because not only are you able to isolate as a group, but then you're also able to keep an eye on each other and actually, you know, not just take it for everyone's word. Like, yeah, I'm being safe. Yeah, I'm isolating. Yeah, like there's a lot of this has all been about like trust and like how much do we trust our closest friends and family, and it's sort of been a big test for everyone about it. And with bands, I mean, obviously there's plenty of bands that like live together or super, super close. We're not one of those bands. We are so spread out at this point. So
especially you said someone just moved to Michigan.
Yeah. So when we get together, I mean, it's a big deal at this point. And with COVID, we have to take all the precautions and invest all of our trust into each other.
Yeah.
For however little time we have together.
Totally. And I mean, you guys had Muck came out, what? Did it come out right before or right after?
Right. Like 5 months in. So it came out of August of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, we finished recording it right before things got pretty hairy in the US at least.
Yeah.
So we finished in like February.
Have people, I know it's totally not, but have people thought All Got Sick is about this?
A couple people have mentioned it. Yeah. It's interesting.
Sure.
It is definitely interesting.
It's a weird coincidence.
I thought about it and I'm like, there's no way that it happened that quickly.
Yeah. It's one of those like odd coincidences.
And we definitely wouldn't want to be a band that like writes a COVID song. I feel like there's plenty of other artists that can
just let all
take advantage of that.
Bruce Springsteen and then like Lady Gaga, and they just do like a mega ballad.
Right.
Wasn't there that one thing where they a bunch of celebrities sang on Imagine on Instagram Live, like 2 weeks in, and everyone's like,
God.
what are you doing?
It was very early in, and it was very tone deaf.
Was it about COVID, or was it about, I thought they got together when it was when all the social injustice and like the race tensions were like really mounting.
That's even worse, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't remember which it was. I just know it was like
everyone hated
completely
it.
tone deaf and just like just shut up. Like just go
honestly
be rich in your mansion. Just like leave us alone. Leave us peons be.
I honestly think what it was that viral video of like people singing on balconies in Italy during lockdown, and they're like, we gotta do our thing.
Yeah, that is what it was.
Ridiculous.
Look at us ruining something that was like beautiful or organic.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I mean, music obviously been tough, but at least these days we get some hoops to kind of take our minds off things.
For sure.
Yeah, thank God for the bubble, man. Because
the bubble was the best thing about last year.
It was so nice to be able to like turn on the TV any day of the week during the day. Like the fact that like most of us were at home not doing shit, to be able to turn on the TV and just be like, oh, there's like 2 or 3 games happening today, and like that's awesome. This is not usually the case.
Yeah.
I think that first week I watched like 4 games a day. And I was my wife and I were staying with her parents. We did we left the state. We were like in North Carolina with her parents, like in a cabin. And again, like we all got tested. Like we tried to maintain distance in the cabin. Her dad and I just watched basketball for like 9 hours a day. It was pretty solid.
Dude, it's the best. I feel like the only time we get day basketball normally is like Christmas Day and like the occasional Sunday game.
Mm-hmm. You get a MLK Day, gets a couple day games too. But that first like month of the bubble, or first like 2 weeks, I guess, of the bubble was pretty outrageous.
Yeah. I also feel like the competition was just so elevated too.
Yeah, there was a lot of like skepticism about whether or not like the product would be like, the same quality. And I think, guys like Jamal Murray like really took that to heart and were like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm going to show that I actually have like all-star level talent.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like dudes that were definitely making a name for themselves in the bubble.
And I liked how you could hear more of the court than we're used to. And I mean, it just felt more intimate and interesting to watch. Even games for teams I didn't really care about, I would just have the TV on that one channel and, just games would keep playing. but you just sort of started hearing like these players' voices and the way they screamed, and
Yeah.
and hearing the coaches' voices screaming
And the
across
bench.
the court. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Like
bench.
the bench had
suddenly
to like
became more
really,
important.
yeah, they had to really like keep the players engaged, you know. It was
Right.
kind of hilarious and interesting. I
Yeah,
like
and
that aspect of it.
especially just like, you know, yeah, Jamal Murray and like Donovan Mitchell, like head to head, like a showcase.
Oh, yeah,
of, like,
that
future
that's-
superstars, so good.
Yeah,
That first series was so good. It's
yeah, it
awesome.
was.
Definitely. Yeah, the bubble was a good time, and it, you know, when you look at this season,
It's not as good.
sucks. They hate it. Dude, the players
Yeah.
aren't even having fun.
Yeah, I think they're like confined to their hotel rooms, like when they're on, away games or whatever, and
And they
Yeah,
still have to
just-
travel, and they have
Yeah.
to wake up earlier than normal because constant testing every day, early in the morning. Yeah, it sounds like it sucks. It
Yeah.
sounds like way more like a job than it used to feel for them.
exactly, and it's like all the bad parts of traveling, you know, times
Yeah.
10.
Yeah,
And that's
I haven't even
there's
been on
like
a subway
no-
in a year.
Yeah, there's no release. I don't know. It's just definitely odd.
And then
Yeah,
if you do, people start fucking shaming you, and suddenly
Mhm.
you shut down a whole game or two because of your, actions off the court. And it's just, yeah, it does not seem enjoyable for
Yeah,
most players right now.
and I saw even Zach LaVine was like, honestly, most days we just kind of hang out in the locker room because we're like too scared to do anything and like get in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't blame
especially with and with all this, you know, and we were just talking about the All-Star game, like I don't know, like, will I watch it? Of course I will. There's sports happening. Like, I need
Yeah,
to watch it.
I have nothing better to do at this point, you know, like that's that's why I was watching football. That's why I was watching the football playoffs. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I have no
Right.
life. Like, I can't, there's no escape. So I might as well, watch this bullshit until basketball is back.
Yeah, and it's really interesting now too with they're starting to let, like, you know, fans in the stadium and stuff, and I know baseball's starting, I think, with 15% capacity most stadiums, which
Yeah.
outdoor, I get that. Outdoor is a little
I was surprised they didn't
easier.
start it earlier.
Yeah,
And it was
the
so
World Series
creepy.
had some people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. It was
But-
just creepy seeing all those cardboard cutouts.
Yeah,
I don't
and
understand
the
why
fake
camera would
audience
show
noises.
that. Yeah, that too.
So weird.
Yeah. It looked kind of like, if you like crossed your eyes a little bit, it looked kind of like the crowd from NHL 99 on Nintendo 64, just like flat.
Yeah. There was a weird thing too where they tried to, on Fox, they would try and do CGI fans, which is
Oh.
like, it just looked horrible, and they're like, yeah, let's not do this again.
What is Fox's fascination with like CGI? They have that what's it called? Brutus, that like robot, the football robot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's also Fox, isn't it?
they won't let go of it.
What?
They love it.
What? The
There's like
football
a-
robot?
There's like
Yeah,
a
It's
mascot.
like a mascot.
Yeah, and he's
It's
like,
called
they
Brutus.
have graphics all the time where he's just like running in place, and it's like a robot
Yeah.
with a football. It's just like
Like
so weird.
slaps his helmet and like does that. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Fox, they try to be cutting edge, but really it's like 2001 graphics, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Odd.
speaking of All-Star game, there was something I saw actually like right before this. Did you see your boy Jimmy Butler actually was nominated, but he turned it down?
I don't know
Oh.
if that's true.
He said, he said, quote, I won't do it unless Bam can go.
Interesting.
As much as I believe he would say something like that, I don't think it's true, because I'm pretty sure that story was spread by
I'm
what is
sure.
it, like that what is that podcast, like 5 Reasons Sports Network? It's got like I can't remember who it is, like Ethan
That-
Skolinek is on it.
I don't know why this sounds like some sort of like alt-right sports network or something.
Is what did that just come out today or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an
Wow.
hour ago.
Interesting. I mean, with all due respect to the stars that did get selected, it is ridiculous that Jimmy Butler isn't in the starting 5. Like, that's absurd. I understand like
I don't
the
know.
team's record like plays into it, but they were carting out like G League guys for half the season. And
Yeah.
so all these people saying like, oh, the Miami Heat, like they're done. Last year was a fluke, blah, blah, blah. I think Goran, Bam, and Jimmy had only played like 66 minutes together before last night or before 2 games ago. So it's like those people need to realize like, oh yeah, like COVID is a thing. Like the team is decimated. Like there's injuries, there's COVID, there's whatever. It's just
For sure.
It's frustrating. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I can't get behind that there is a better. I mean, all right, you have Kevin Durant, but like at small forward, who is better in the Eastern Conference than Jimmy Butler? Like legitimately.
Don't say Jason Tatum.
Is Jimmy playing the 3 or there's even more of a 2?
He's the 3 for sure. The 2 is Duncan Robinson.
That's right. Because 2 is packed in the East. I mean, between Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, and Bradley Beal, like there's no denying those 3 should be all stars.
Wait, Jaylen Brown plays the 2?
Yeah.
Oh, damn! I thought he played power forward.
No, I mean he's kind of one of those guys who's like, I'll play wherever.
Yeah, positions are sort of fucked in general at this point.
I think usually when I think when Marcus Smart is when he's healthy, he usually plays the 2.
That's true. Yeah.
But they've been going to Jaylen Brown a lot more like as the 2 as the season has been going on. I mean, he's having a great season. Like, don't get me wrong. And I really like him. He seems like a really smart dude. I remember last year during the protests and stuff, like I really respected a lot of the things that he was saying. Even though deep down I hate the Celtics, like I do have respect for that dude for sure.
Yeah,
he seems like a good person.
There was also an amazing video of him going up to some random kid playing basketball in his driveway and dunking on him.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He just like pulled up in his car,
grounded in their reality.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let him get easy buckets. So
yeah.
Oh man. So how in general you guys are feeling the Heat are a little getting some against their name? They're not getting the respect.
I mean,
no, not at all.
I understand why people would come out and say this if you're a casual, but come on, like seeing like the talking heads, the only person that like hasn't said that their season is over or that they weren't a fluke is Stephen A. Smith. And even he was like, come on, y'all. Like he did one of his like rants. He's like, Bam Adebayo, the all-star. Come on,
it is absolutely
Bam.
Ridiculous.
Exactly. Like, y'all need to pull it together.
Oh,
yeah, it's just like I mean, if we watch most of the Heat games, and there have been plenty where we're just like, wow, maybe this season is just screwed at this point. Like, just seeing a lack of effort, seeing just not a lot of intensity that you're used to seeing. But then you'll see games like last night's game, and you're just like, no, this team, this is a playoff team. There's like no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. When they play good defense and focus, they can absolutely beat any team in the league. It's just a matter of, I don't know, enthusiasm on their part. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with this season and all the COVID stuff. It's just
the fatigue for sure. Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Playing teams like 2 times in a row, multiple times.
Yeah, it's strange.
You know, it's just it is all weird, and I'm sure a lot of teams are feeling strange about it all.
I mean, the Bulls are currently a 6 seed. That's also strange.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the East, I had it pulled up a minute ago, but like, let's see. Okay, so from the 10th seed. All right, so the Bulls are currently 9th. They're tied with the Hornets, who are 10th.
Yeah, they lost to the Suns yesterday, so they dropped.
So I don't know. There's like a game and a half separating 4 through 6.
Yeah.
Like that's or excuse me, 4 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I mean, honestly, it's like Sixers and Celtics are the clear tops in the East, and the Bucks.
No, it's
And
not
it's like-
Celtics. Celtics
yeah,
are
Oh, did
falling
Celtics
apart.
fall?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Celtics are the same record as the Heat.
Yeah, you want to
So-
talk about like the Heat just being garbage this year. It's like so does Celtics apparently.
Yeah.
If you look
Yeah.
at the records, so many teams in the East are looking like hot garbage if you just look at the records in the standings.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's definitely a weird year.
Yeah.
And people would want to say like, oh, well, the East is weak. It's not that they're weak. It's just this season is fucking bonkers. Utah is
Yeah.
the best team in the league. No one
Joel
saw
Embiid is running away with MVP. I didn't see that coming.
it.
Yeah. Dude, I love that dude.
Yeah.
I'm not a Sixers fan, obviously. Like Eastern Conference, I'm gonna be Heat all the way, no matter
You don't
what.
like the legacy teams.
I mean,
Celtics, Sixers.
like, you know, I like players on the teams.
Yeah.
And I think Joel Embiid is hilarious and just like a complete stud on the court. But God, I'm really nervous for him. He just has that like that proneness to injury, you know.
I know.
So,
All big guys, like guys his like length,
Yeah.
that like
Just too
when you see
damn
them
big.
move right, when you see them do something like really quick with their feet or they go up in the air and they're coming down, you're just always like, damn, dude, that could have been bad. Like,
Yeah.
you roll your ankle, it's a worse injury than a smaller guy just because
Yeah.
of your frame.
And he's
That's how I feel
huge.
about Zion too. Like he's so built, and it's just like every time he lands, I'm like, dude, your knees and your ankles are gonna crush one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite the load. I must
And it's
say.
unfortunate because his game is all about just intense physical,
Yeah.
movement.
Totally.
Athleticism. Like he bully ball, as they
Right.
say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is interesting that Joel Embiid is definitely like the clear front runner, I'd say, in the Eastern Conference for like a MVP, you know. I think the other center in the West, Jokic, definitely deserves it. I was reading
Yeah.
some crazy article maybe like a week and a half ago that was saying, like, according to advanced statistics, that he's having like the most efficient offensive season for any center in NBA history.
I mean, he's an insane passer.
Yeah. And on top of it, I saw this other article, like I was just on a Jokic dive, I guess, that said when he's off the floor, that the Nuggets are statistically the worst team in NBA history,
Jesus.
which is pretty, like, that's a stark difference, you know? Like,
Is his backup still Mason Plumlee?
yeah. Oh, no, you know what? I think Plumlee is on the Pistons now.
Oh,
Who is his backup? Let's see.
We
Yeah.
all Google.
Yeah.
Bol Bol?
Who is their backup? Bol Bol.
Is
Drafted
it?
by the Heat.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Plumlee's not on the Nuggets anymore.
Wow.
So it's like Isaiah Hartenstein or Bol or like Jermichael Green.
J. Michael Green, I guess. I've never
Yeah.
even heard of this guy, Isaiah Hartenstein. Who is
Yeah.
this Joker?
No, he is not the Joker.
He's not the Joker.
Yeah,
he is
a
a
Joker.
Joker. Damn. I wish the Heat could have kept Bol, honestly. His dad played for the Heat for a little bit.
Yeah.
A very little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll never forget that clip of him blocking 7 people within like 5 seconds.
Yeah. There's a lot of great photos of him if you ever bored. Just
Yeah.
Google search like Manute Bol pool, or I don't know, there's like this crazy image of him like underwater and he's as long as the pool pretty much.
Yeah.
And I mean it's distorted because of the water as
Yeah,
well,
right. He looks like
It's-
Slender Man.
but it's
Yeah.
freaky. It is freaky for sure.
So I would be remiss if I didn't I guess ask about the origins of the name, because obviously there's no band more perfect for indie basketball than Dikembe. I would assume it's based on Dikembe Mutombo, but am I wrong in that?
I don't know what else you would base it on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Steven came up with the name. Steven, our old guitarist Ryan, but Steven attributes it to like when he was younger, he would play one of the NBA live games, and like at the time, Dikembe Mutombo was on the Atlanta Hawks, so it was like the first team in the list when you'd go to start playing, and like Dikembe would just be there, and
he doesn't have got time to search.
Right,
Rosters.
He would just be like, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play, and he would just jump into it with Dikembe Mutombo's face like right there before the game would start. So I think that's where it came from.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, and I was there. There were other names thrown out there, but for some reason we were just like, Dikembe, that's unique. That's cool. Let's just do that. I mean, the whole band was not really taken seriously when we first started things. We just needed a name for the band camp that we're going to post like our first EP with. So we didn't think that people were going to have to like know how to spell it or pronounce it. We didn't know how it was going to look on like the front of an album cover, because we didn't even have an album cover at that point. We didn't have any foresight as far as like what a name like that would entail.
But then you doubled down with the Chicago Bulls.
I mean, we came up with Chicago Bulls first.
Oh, okay.
For sure. We came up with that and the song titles. I mean, that was all just having fun and laughing. And then it was just like, what are we going to call the band? It's like, I don't know.
Keep the NBA theme going. Yeah.
Sure. Why not? It's a cool looking word.
He had the iconic finger wag. So like, what's not to love about Dikembe Mutombo?
It's surprising that you guys came up with the album title and the song first, because I would have figured like, oh, then they could keep with the Chicago Bulls theme. You could have gone with like Paxson or Rodman as your band name. Like that would have been pretty funny too.
Yeah,
Longley. I mean,
what if I may ask, what were some of the other names? Because I don't think I've ever heard any.
Dude,
of them
before. I could not tell you. It feels like so long ago at this point. I'm pretty sure Dikembe was the best option, which says a lot about what else there was on the table. For sure. But it was it was definitely all random. I remember that at least.
Man, there's an incredible video of Dikembe Mutombo on Inside the NBA, I think, a long time ago, and he's like showing around his like a day in the life of Dikembe Mutombo, and he goes, "This is my favorite place to eat. It's called Pasta. It's named after pasta."
Yeah, this is where I eat almost every day.
What's the name of the store?
Pasta. It was named after pasta.
And then he like gets in like his shower and he's like hunched over. It's like, it's ridiculous.
I think I might have seen this. Is it when he was on the Nuggets? I believe so. I feel like I have this imagery of him like in the snow, like showing people stuff.
I think so. Yeah. He was like walking around the town and it's like him in like this random like Denver town. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Randy got a cameo made by him last year.
That's great.
And it sucks.
It was not worth whatever we paid for it.
I'm sure he's charging what, like $400 for that.
With a voice like that, yeah, sure.
Yeah. The one and only.
There's some people on Cameo charging criminal amounts. Like, I'm not paying $600 for Brett Favre to like read a piece of paper at me.
Yeah. We've lucked out with Chris Gethard, like basically doing all our promo
he's
now.
So good. He's so good.
For so little, but I guess it started out as cheering up Randy and has now blossomed into a friendship.
Amazing. All right, so there was one thing I emailed you guys before this. I don't know if you've been able to ponder it, but I kind of do a segment where we have a list of basketball players and we kind of pair them with a band. Like what kind of band do they represent? And then, if you don't have any answers, you can come up with the fly, whatever. But then we'll compare our answers, and it's a silly little exercise, but it kind of definitely matches the indie basketball vibe. So
this was very difficult. I spent days thinking about certain players. I was just like, I don't know.
It's a tough one for sure, and especially when I think the best part of it comes in how you try and pull your mental gymnastics to defend it.
Yeah.
So let's give it a whirl. and starting with, and I, of course, since you guys are Heat fans, chose all Heat players, but we'll start with legendary Dwayne Wade.
Yep. Number one Heat lifer.
Yeah.
Well, for D Wade, he was one of the toughest ones. For some reason, I ended up with John because I just feel like his play style was fast, but very smooth. And I think he's one of the better examples of a basketball player with that kind of, I don't know, like physicality on the court. I haven't seen a lot of players that do the same things that he did, like definitely in his prime, but even when he was playing later on, he still would pull out so many things that I was just like, God damn, he is one of the smoothest looking basketball players on the court. And for some reason, I feel like Sean is a good band to like represent that, because they fucking play so many goddamn notes so fast, and it just sounds so nice and sexy regardless.
Awesome. And I'm gonna make sure whenever I get post this, that I post links to all these bands so everyone can listen to everyone. Yeah, Andy, you got a pick for D Wade?
Yeah, I'm like looking at my list now and I'm just laughing. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
I know, right?
It's like what David said makes sense. I chose Living Color. They have okay, so like Dwayne Wade's style was just like so unique, you know. He just had like that explosive like energy, and I feel like Living Color also has that. I guess you know, the thing that sucks is that I feel like Living Color is like kind of a overlooked band, and Dwayne Wade is definitely, you know, arguably one of the best two guards ever. So
totally,
they don't have that in common, but yeah, just something about their steez, you know.
All right, okay. What I went with, even tried to think about how it makes sense to me is ridiculous, but I went with Arcade Fire because he had such a long career, and then the sound evolved over time.
Okay.
So like his play style, and even like you mentioned style, even his like the way he dressed, like, you know, his game day style and wardrobe that changed over time. You know, later in his career, he had the bleach blonde hair.
I feel like that helps with Andy's band too, because just like the look, I was like, okay, yeah, like totally. I could see that. I could see that.
They were pretty snazzy, I guess.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the second one is Zoe, Lonzo Mourning.
Oh, who did I put? I picked. Oh my god, this was really the hardest one. I picked Helmet.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not that far off from you, actually.
Okay, so I picked Helmet for Zoe because Zoe is just your stereotypical 90s bruiser, just sort of heavyweight kind of player, but extremely influential on a lot of guys that came after him, like, I don't know, like Dwight Howard, stuff like that, but still very much based in 90s, which I feel like Helmet, and also overlooked, like often overlooked when it comes to top 10 lists of all-time centers. I feel like Helmet's also often just completely forgotten when you talk about influential hard rock metal bands.
Right. That's a great pick. Yeah. That's very good.
Yeah, I feel like we were on the same path there. I chose like a slightly heavier band, but like, you know, also like 90s and tough. I chose Snapcase.
Yeah.
Just because like, yeah, he was just such a fucking force and in the low post and stuff, and you know, obviously being a two-time defensive player of the year, or was it just once? I can't remember.
I think it was 2 times.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if not for Dwayne Wade, you know, would be everyone's favorite Heat player of all time. All like the, you know, longtime Heat fans will say the same thing.
For sure.
I remember like when he came back to the Heat after he had played in New Jersey. Or I guess did he even like play for them, or
he didn't want to play for them. I
Yeah.
know that for sure.
Yeah. I can't remember. Like he played somewhere else, like very briefly, and then he got traded from there, and they had to release him
Yeah.
because he was like, "I'm not showing up. Fuck this."
Is he still an assistant coach anywhere?
No, he works for the front office. He's like
Okay.
in player development.
Yeah.
I went to a Heat game like 2 years ago, or maybe, yeah, it was during D Wade's last season. I went to 2 games, and my this person that knows my family had like pretty good season tickets, so we were able to go and like sit pretty low. And I was sitting like right behind Zoe and Shane Battier. They were like off on their little like VIP area, and they had like the box score in front of them, and like there was someone handing them documents. I was like, oh shit, I gotta fucking grab one of those when they walk away. And I went down there, and I was like, you know, I probably had like 2 of those 20-ounce beers already, so I was like, like I'm gonna be sneaky, but.
Yeah.
I didn't realize like I was wearing like a red starter jacket, like a Heat starter jacket that was like illuminating. So as soon as I got down there, someone was like, excuse me. And I was like, excuse me, where's the restroom?
Amazing.
So stupid.
Oh, that's good.
But so, Snapcase.
All right. Both very good. You guys went for the era way more appropriately than I did, but we all went heavier. I went with Death Heaven.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like I feel like I always imagine Zoe with like the sweatbands, and I just like I don't know why my first instinct went to Death Heaven. It literally makes no sense. But I now look back and think that helmet is pretty spot on.
Yeah,
and Snapcase. Yeah, you guys both went era appropriate.
We know our Heat players.
Yeah.
Helmet for sure, dude. Especially like coming in like 92 helmet. I think Meantime was 92 or 90. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I act as if I was there. I was like a year old or 2 years old.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. I do remember seeing their music videos like on MTV when my parents would watch.
Oh shit.
When Betty came out.
All right, next up, we were talking about him already. Jimmy G Buckets.
Jimmy, I picked Hootie and the Blowfish. Now hear me out.
Okay.
I first thought of them because of Darius Rucker, and I thought like Jimmy's in country, so it's gonna be a country band. But then I thought like, okay, Hootie and the Blowfish, big group. I sort of think of that as like Jimmy Butler, the Chicago Bulls when he first came in. Like they got into the playoffs pretty deep. He was part of like a big super squad essentially, and then he became like a journeyman essentially. That's where Darius Rucker just went solo and had to find his own way and find.
Jimmy couldn't find his home.
And I just feel like that parallel, I had to pick just Darius Rucker / Shooting the Blowfish because that is pretty much Jimmy. Is at this point. I mean, I'm glad he's found a new home with the Heat. Yeah. But for a while, it just definitely seemed like he could have ended up on any team at any point every single year.
And now Darius Rucker is like, I found my home now. I'm a solo country artist.
Yeah.
I go to the CMAs every year. Like, oh, that's good. That's good.
I went with Thin Lizzy. And I did not think of this before. I don't know why I chose Thin Lizzy. Honestly, I was like, they're kind of like, they're one of those like great bands that's a little bit overlooked. Like people that know rock are like, oh yeah, Thin Lizzy, like one of the best bands. But people that are like casual NBA fans aren't going to be like, oh yeah, he's one of the best players. Like I'm trying to do every day of my life. And
okay.
But something that David said kind of parallels. So when Thin Lizzy had Gary Moore in their band, they were taken to the next level, and pretty much every band that Gary Moore joins, they just like become better. He's just such a sick guitar player. So Thin Lizzy.
That makes sense.
Love it. So I I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm more fond of Jimmy Butler's early work. So
For sure.
that's why I went with Weezer.
Okay.
Because I stick to Blue Album and Pinkerton, and like that's
For
the
sure.
Jimmy Butler I know, but he still maintained a success afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the best player on the Heat right now.
Yeah.
Is that an argument at this point?
No.
I feel like he's
don't
gotten
think so.
better. I think he's gotten better since his Chicago days.
I agree. I think he actually had
Weezer has
his
not
best
gotten
year
better.
last
Weezer
year.
has not gotten better at all.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you on that. My other option was for a similar reason, but it was Beach House, because I like earlier Beach House, but people like them more now, and I am not the biggest fan of their more recent stuff. But
right. No, that makes
I'll
sense.
stick with Weezer, because say it ain't so, Jimmy. Why'd you leave the Bulls? And he didn't leave; he got traded. So, the next one is the legendary head coach Pat Riley.
This one I didn't even pick a band. I just picked Frank Sinatra because
old crooning Pat Riley.
Old crooning, got some like mafia gangster ties, just I don't know, mentality to them. That was the best I could come up with. I could not think of a band that sort of represented Pat Riley and
yeah, he was a tough one
and his allure.
Yeah, I chose Fleetwood Mac because he seems like the type of dude who in the 70s would have definitely done cocaine with Fleetwood Mac at the Forum.
That's
sorry,
cool.
Pat. It's just a bit of a look.
I mean, you might not be wrong there too.
Yeah, he's the OG though.
My pick was, I think it's similar to your reasoning for Dwayne Wade, but I went with the Replacements because he was very influential, especially with the Heat organization, to those that came later, and he molded kind of what the Heat became eventually. Yeah. And I feel like the Replacements were like that for a lot of bands coming into the 90s and early 2000s.
That's true.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then the last one is another. Was he a lifer? Udonis Haslem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he still playing? Honestly, like
he's on the team. Roster. He's on the roster. Tell Jamie I said what's up.
Sorry, I wasn't supposed to talk. Hi.
No. I've been looking at you back there, and I'm like, I want to wave.
For UD, I picked Every Time I Die because.
Did you guys pick the same one?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, because like motherfucker is just still sticking around and running with the youngins, and I mean, still in fantastic shape. And it's just mind-boggling that like he hasn't retired, that he hasn't just been like, you know what, that's it, good enough run, did enough in this league, I'm out of here. And I feel like Every Time I Die, they've got that same mentality where I mean, the last couple of albums, I felt like, well, this is probably the last one. I'm sure they're tired of touring every fucking year and then every other year putting out a new album. But no, they keep putting out shit that just sounds fucking awesome and heavy, better. Sure, some of it slows down a little compared to their younger years, but like it's still just high quality performances. And I feel like UD is that just kind of player that, like, even when the rare moments he goes into a game, he does not look like, I don't know, like Jared Dudley right now. He doesn't look like the oldest guy in the court. He's
in better shape now than when he was, great 15 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy to think about. I do wish he would just stop and fucking give us that one more roster space for someone who actually contribute on a daily basis. But I understand, he's the kind of guy that's like in the weight room, like pushing the younger guys, just being like, motherfuckers, if I can do this, you can do this. And if you keep doing this, you're going to be like me, still playing like 16 years later. Like,
Yep. Yep.
keep
Oh,
up.
That's solid. Spot on.
He's the elder statesman too. Like he's like one of the pillars of the NBPA, the Players Association.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's really cool that he's developed from like this, I don't know, like a role player to kind of having like a status among the elites without having been a star or something, you know.
A guy that was undrafted that ended
Exactly.
up, you know, overseas for his first year or two, overweight, and I mean, no one would have thought he would end up on multiple championship teams.
Yeah,
for sure.
and being
Totally.
like in the starting lineup for said teams.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he outlived a lot of generations of Heat rosters too.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, yeah. Like I was looking at some of the rosters like earlier this week because I was like, damn, man, like why are we putting these guys, Gabe Vincent, whatever? There's like some guys on the team right now that I'm like, every time what they check in, I'm like, oh, they should be playing garbage time.
Yeah.
Why are they checking in with like 4 minutes to go in the first quarter?
That's me with Luke Cornett. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you feel my pain. So I was looking at some old Heat rosters and I was like, you know what? I need to just shut up because there were some serious years of mediocrity.
Was he on the Heat, the Shaq team?
Udonis, yeah.
Yeah, man, he's really been around.
Him, Zoe, and Shaq all on the same team.
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Insane.
And he and D Wade came in the same year, 2003. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty incredible.
Awesome. Yeah,
And he didn't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. My UD pick was for the reason of he's Mr. Consistency, but sometimes you like kind of forget about him, but like then they come back and remind you they're still there. And I went with Caspian for that.
Okay.
Just 'cause I love Caspian and you know, like I've you know, way back, you know, Four Trees and beyond, and I like that stuff. And then like I'm like, oh yeah, they're still making music, and they put a new one out, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, he's still here. They're still here.
Yeah. My old bandmate was their tour driver for like a month or something, and they gave him the nickname Coach and like gave him a whistle and stuff, and they would make him do like a inspirational speech before they got on stage.
Oh my God.
Good.
Yeah. Matt, David.
I
So
know. I can imagine.
that. Yeah, like that was probably a trip every night.
That's amazing. Oh god.
Here they are getting like the goofiest, like, you know, Disney Channel. We're not good enough to win the championship speech, and then they go up on stage and play this like just ominous, mammoth,
Right.
like huge and like crushing sound. It's just very funny to me. The juxtaposition is hilarious.
For sure. Man, I honestly, this is the second time I've done this game, and already I got someone who you got the same answer. It's incredible.
Yeah, that was I was not expecting that at all. We didn't share beforehand because I was having so much trouble and I was really tempted to be like, can I see your list real quick? Like, where is your head at for some of these guys?
They were like, I wrote down two for two of them. Mm-hmm. Terror was my other one for Udonis Haslem.
Also funny, like when I was looking at this list that you sent, it was basically a list of potential names for my child who was born a year ago. I was pushing so hard for Wade Morning Bell.
Oh yeah.
Because my wife and I wanted to have like a gender neutral like middle name in case like things happen later on. And I was just like, oh, Morning Bell, that would be such a good girl name too. But I was really, really insistent that we were gonna spell it Morning, like Alonzo Morning. And she just would not go for that. I was like, come on, it would be so fucking, it'd be so cool. Yeah, it's cool. It is a cool name.
I feel you, Jamie.
I mean, I was convinced you're gonna say Udonis was gonna be.
Oh no, Udonis was also one of the names I threw out there. We ended up with Wade Riley Bell, and I was just like, okay, fine, like this will work too, as long as we represent culture. Okay, that's like all that matters.
Beautiful. amazing. But yeah, thank you for indulging me in this little game. The last question I tend to ask people when they come on is, what was your go-to NBA Jam duo?
Ooh.
It's got to be Peyton Kemp. Peyton Kemp.
That's my answer every time.
That's like a pretty ridiculous one. Stockton Malone.
Mhm.
Damn, man.
A lot of people also go with the Hornets. You get the Larry Johnson and Muggsy
Yeah.
Bogues.
Okay, that's a good one too. Charles Barkley and you could either do like KJ or Dan Marley. Like that was a pretty decent one. Damn. NBA Jam was awesome.
I know. I would kill for like, I don't need like good graphics or anything, but just bring back like the 8-bit, whatever with modern rosters. And
I feel like I could be mistaken, but there might be a game that's not called NBA Jam that has like the same 2v2 concept, and like the players are like their bodies are exaggerated and stuff. They have like big heads.
It's NBA Playgrounds.
Is that what it is
called? Yeah.
Okay.
It's still not like NBA Jam though. I mean, I think they really should just go with that, side view.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy with graphics. It don't need to add new. I think like the Playgrounds game has like power-ups, like multiple different kinds of power-ups. No, we just need on fire or not.
People
we just need a turbo.
Yeah.
He's heating up. Yeah. I mean, and nostalgia is $1 billion industry. So
exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
There must be a reason why not, because it seems like it would be pretty easy to put something out like that.
Yeah. I mean, who is the developer for NBA Jam? Like Midway or something?
Midway, which does not exist anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was, I think it was also like Activision was like a co-studio maybe.
Oh
yeah, like who owns like Mortal Kombat now? Because that was also Midway.
Yeah,
it's true, and they're still putting out stuff, and they're putting out a movie too.
Oh, dude!
Somehow.
So, I have HBO Max, and like all of those movies or a bunch of movies are coming out on HBO Max this year.
So you watched Tom and Jerry today, right?
I'm going to watch it tomorrow morning, because I have no life.
Who the fuck asked for that? Who the fuck asked for that to be made?
No,
that's the only thing I could think. The whole trailer, I was just like, what? Why?
Colin Jost is in it. I really like him, so I'm gonna watch it. But
incredible.
I actually had to. So somebody sent me the trailer for Mortal Kombat, and I started watching it. And about 1 minute in, I stopped. And I texted them and I was like, listen, I had to stop watching the trailer because I'm so damn excited. I don't want to ruin anything.
I was going to describe a moment in the trailer, but if you stopped halfway through, then you haven't seen it, and I won't even bring it up.
I cannot wait to watch that movie. I am counting down the minutes, baby.
That movie and the new Zack Snyder zombie movie are two movies that look like just the dumbest, best movies.
I don't know how off topic we can get here, but do you have HBO Max by chance? Okay, so I started watching this. It's like extremely politically incorrect and just like I don't know how it got made in Japan in the 70s, but there's a film series called Hanzo the Razor. There's 3 of them on HBO Max right now on like the Turner Classic Movies like hub. So I've been watching a lot of old movies because, as I've said numerous times, no life, live inside, like don't go anywhere.
You're on island time, man.
Yeah, I'm on island time. I've been like, okay, like I'll watch a bunch of these movies and see what's up with, cinema of the 70s and 60s or whatever. And dude, that movie is a trip. Check that out sometime.
Oh, okay. That sounds interesting. What's it called again?
Hanzo the Razor.
All right. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
I was expecting like, I don't know, it's like set in feudal Japan. I was expecting like some period piece, like samurai type of thing, but it's more like a 70s exploitation type of film. And it is crazy. And the music sounds like a a record that you would find in like your uncle's collection or something that you're like, whoa, this is like, this still has like bits of buds like in the gatefold where they were rolling joints. Not that I ever found that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel like honestly, my wife's uncle always gifts us those kind of records. Like,
oh yeah,
like
Very
garage
tight.
sale records. I'm like, I've never heard of this in my life.
Yeah,
but I'm here for it. So
yeah, I was getting like some very like kind of funky soul songs in like a movie set in, you know, like feudal Japan. It's not expected.
Yeah, it sounds very bizarre.
It is a truly bizarre and ridiculous film.
But
the shock value of it, I was like astounded by. And that's like 50 years old almost. So it's quite absurd.
Is the dialogue like modern as well as like 60s, 70s like style, or does that feel period piece? Or
no, it feels
feudal?
like it belongs in the film and like the setting of the film, but everything else is just like a little too like, I don't know what they were going for.
Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Putney Swope, but is it in that sort of like strange exploitation?
I have not heard of that film.
Okay, that's a weird 70s movie about like it's how they accidentally make this black dude the head of an advertising agency, and he changes everything.
I've not seen that.
It's directed by Robert Downey Sr.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Highly recommend. It's very odd, but kind of awesome.
Interesting.
And then we pivoted off into bizarre movies.
Yeah, do you want to talk about our album anymore, or that's over?
Are you guys making new music? Is it kind of a when we can?
I think it's a when we can.
Yeah.
I've got like a couple ideas, like I'm kind of kicking around, and
yeah,
it's just odd.
Stockpiling until it's okay. Yeah.
We haven't toured with, you know, Muck at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't even feel at that part where I'm like sick of the songs. You know, usually you got to play like a fair amount of shows until it's just like, all right, I can't wait to like play something new or like try something new with a new song, because song's fun. I get it. Like, we got to play it, but I don't want to play it anymore. And we just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
So it's weird to even think about like doing something next. I don't know how other bands are doing it, how they can get to that mindset, because you don't even know like if things are working. As far as just like, are people digging how we sound in a live setting with some of these songs? Like, is this like a good direction we're going in, or is this bizarre and it makes people uncomfortable? Like, we don't even have the answers for those questions yet. So
I'm sure it's strange going off. Normally, I'm sure when you tour, you get to gauge those reactions, but now you're just looking at stream counts pretty much, right?
Yeah, and like even that is, you know, that's through a lens too, because if we were touring on the music, like it would get people interested in checking it out, you know, like for as much as we play to like a fan base that knows us, like there are definitely people that see us live that have never seen us before or have maybe not heard of us before. So,
and the more material that we've put out, the more that happens after a show, where people just come up and they're just like, yeah, I came here because my friend wanted to see you, and I didn't know who you were, but like that second song you played was fucking awesome. And it's just like, oh, cool. Like those are the comments you really cherish, like after shows as an artist, where you got someone's attention who didn't really want to be there, didn't know like what they were getting into, or maybe they were going to see a different band, and they're just like, oh man, that rocked, that killed, like that was awesome. I'm going to look you up on Spotify right now on my phone. I am so excited about that. Like those like immediate visceral reactions are like so nice to have. And this past year with COVID, you don't get any of that. You know, the people that talk about you on the internet are people that are expecting you to put out the album anyways. You know? it's nice
Although
that people like it, but like,
Yeah.
man, I really want to turn, other people's heads who weren't even looking in this direction.
For sure. I will say, like, I was genuinely surprised at like the reaction thus far without having like, normal kind of, like a release show
Yeah.
or, some tours that we did where somebody was like, oh, like they're touring on a new album, blah, 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 like whatever. Like for having done this in an age of pandemic or whatever you want to call it, like quarantine, I was surprised that the amount of people that we reached was the number that it was. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially because I don't know how other people have been dealing with like interacting with music this past year, but I feel like my listening habits have just gone down the goddamn drain. Like,
so erratic.
I don't listen to music like that much anymore, and I certainly don't listen to new music because I guess I realized that so much of that I was like getting into that was new was like stuff I saw in person, like especially
Yeah.
during tours, like to see a band for the first time and just be like, damn, this band kicks ass. Like now I'm going to listen to their album or the EP online and like I'm gonna add that to my rotation. Like not having that process available for me, I'm fucking listening to Tina Turner all the time instead, or just stuff that like it just seems so cylindrical as far as just like what I'm listening to because
it's been there already.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know where else to go. There's so much music on the internet all the time that sure I could try to check out, but fuck, I don't really have the time for it. So I don't even try. I don't even try. And I feel sort of depressed about it, like as far as just like my perception of music goes at this point. I can't wait to get out there and see bands again in person and just like experience that, that loud sounds like bumping my face and my chest and really seeing like artists like, okay, they really can play. Like these people really do know how to do this.
Yeah. And fingers crossed, Fauci says the fall. Like
yeah, I mean, I feel like it was the fall last year. So obviously like I'm gonna try and be as optimistic as I possibly can. But yeah, it's just,
for sure.
It's difficult, like for me, like I live in what I could only describe as like Trump country. So I see a lot of like,
fair enough,
stupid shit happening, people not wearing masks in public, like, stuff like that, like is not rare for me to see, for as little as I leave my house, the amount of times that I'm like taken aback in public now is just like astounding to me. But hopefully in the fall, like that would be awesome. Hopefully it's not a year and a half until we're like playing these new songs live, because I was I actually like I wrote down the amount of times that we've played like each song live, and like 4 of them, or a handful of them, it's like never played live before. Another handful of them is like 4 times live. Like the most that we've played any song on this album is, I'm pretty sure, like I don't have it written down in front of me, but I think it was like 17 or 18 times that we've played Living in the Walls, like somewhere around like, and that's the oldest song on the record.
Yeah.
So,
and that's crazy too if you think about like not just playing in front of people. Most of these songs on this album, if you include recording them and stuff like that, we've probably played less than 20 times.
Yeah, like for sure.
And that's
for sure
mind-boggling at this point. We've been done with it for a year now, and we've only played them maybe 20 times at the most. It's weird to think about.
They're fresh. I mean, and it sounds ridiculous to say like, oh yeah, like I listened to my own band, but I was on a bike ride recently and I listened to the record and I was like, damn, like we're like a pretty okay band. Like I was excited about it and I was like, damn, I wish we could play that song. Like that would be really fun.
It's interesting to think that you may have listened to the song almost as many times as you've played it.
Probably more.
Oh, for sure. Like in mixing and stuff, like absolutely.
That's crazy.
Like absolutely. Weird. And this is the only album that I could ever say that about, like of all the music that I've been part of like my whole life. It's just crazy to say like, yeah, it's been out this long and we've not done anything, you know?
Shit.
Yeah. It's
Not
really
done anything in a live capacity.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Hopefully one day. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I definitely won't say like, oh yeah, like the next time we play, like it's just gonna be, you know, we're gonna pick up where we left off. Like I would like to continue pushing forward with new material since you know, this is the first album that I got to be on with Dikembe, and I've been in the band for like 3 years now. So it was exciting for me, like in the recording process, like, oh, like I'm finally get to say like, yeah, like that's my band too, you know, because I've
Right.
always been in their band, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's more coming.
Yeah, man, for sure. But in the meantime, we're watching NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, guys, thanks again for joining. This has been a lot of fun. And yeah, hope you best of luck to the Heat and best of luck
Thank you.
To you
Thank you,
guys
Matt.
in with the music and all that. So
Yeah, good luck with the Bulls. Honestly, the NBA is better when the Bulls are good.
absolutely, I like to believe so.
Yeah. As much
Right,
as I
well.
hate the dynasty teams, like the NBA is better when those teams are good.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, thanks again, guys.
Yeah.
And then everyone listening, we'll talk to you next time. See ya.
See you.